like I said at the beginning of my video, I will talk about Dr.Myuu, about his personality, his powers, and everything. What I almost said much more like I did for Dr.Gero. And before I get the character discussion video down below in the video, bang, right down below, I will put the link, so if you're interested you can watch the character discussion video about Dr.Gero and my comments and what I think of him. So let us begin. So at the beginning, the only thing I can say that his real name, like I said before, and everyone knows, is Dr.Myuu, and he's the first main villain. Well, no, he's the first villain that Trunks, Pan, and Goku ever faced before the Baby Saga. And of course, at the beginning, well, much more, everyone is thinking that he is the creator of Baby. He is the one who created him, and he's the responsible who put all the Earth under Baby's control. But if you watch the Baby Saga, you know, in details and much more in everything, you can see that it's the other way around. Well, yeah, I mean, Dr.Gero, yes, he is a creator and the leader of the machine mutants. Like, for example, like that general that almost resemble like him. I really don't remember his name. And because he was the creator of this general, so you know he can take the Dragon Balls and you know the black ones that the Emperor Pilaf ordered from Shenron, the dragon, and you know, to complete his ultimate mutant creation. Like if you see it, and everybody knows, it's Baby. But like I said before, if you watch Baby Saga detail, you can see that it is the other way around. Baby is the creator of Dr.Myuu, not Dr.Myuu for Baby. I mean, it's a little bit complicated, but yes, it's like that. That's the only original. But we are talking about his power skills and everything. Well, if you see Dr.Myuu, you know, like a person and everything. Well, even if he's an alien. Well, you can possibly see, like I said for Dr.Gero and all mad science that existed in this fictional world. Dr.Myuu's main power skills, or should say abilities, are his high-level intelligence, like all mad scientists have. And of course, like I said for Dr.Gero, every single mad scientist has his own rank in what he specialized. For example, when we talk about Dr.Myuu, he's specialized in working on his ultimate machine mutant, or should we say mutation. So his ultimate rank as a mad scientist is to create mutants. For example, like the general, the soldiers, the big, and of course that we don't have to forget the robotic, because he also created that the robot where everybody was worshiping. I think it was called Oob. Somehow, something like that. Oob was called, you know, a big giant robot, you know, who becomes much more stronger and powerful when he absorbs the energies from people, or should I say his enemies, when they're transformed into little puppets that looks like some kind of a voodoo dolls. But you get the point. So his own categories are mutants, robotics, and also energy. Because if you remember, he created a weapon that he never used in combat, and it's called, I think it's called, the Psychic Bomber, that he never used. Because if you see his combat skill, or as a combat skills, Dr.Myuu is also very weak. Because the only power what he ever had is his high level intelligence, like all mad scientists do. You know, he just uses his brain to create something, and this creation, what he did, you know, he can use under his control and order him to do something for him. Something that he can't do for himself. Because everybody knows, for Dr.Myuu, he's ultimately weak. He's not very powerful, and you know that. Because like I have here in my book of villains, like I call it, like nearly every villain in the Dragon Ball series, you also can fly and generate the ki blasts, which we didn't see actually in the series. How he's doing that. I mean, you know, firing and everything. But if you, I don't remember actually the name of the Dragon Ball video game, but he was there as one of the playable characters, I think, or DLC, I don't know. But he normally fights in some kind of Street Fighter style, and throwing away the ki blasts, like you say here, generate the ki blasts. And also, like I said before, he has a genius intellect comparable and rivaling Dr.Gero. Not forgetting he's an alien, but also they're on the same level intellect, those two, both of them. So there are some kind of, you can say they are rivals. And also, like I said before, he created a weapon that he never seems to use it, and that is the psychic bomber. But it's talking about him as a person. When we're in the beginning of the Baby Saga, when Goku, Trunks, and Pan first met him, well, you can see Dr.Myuu, you see him, just a normal alien, having exactly the same, normal body and everything. But after the explosion of his lab, when he was damaged and everything and defeated, you can also see, like Dr.Gero was an android, even Dr.Myuu was a machine, and now this explains everything why Baby said he was the one who created Dr.Myuu, and he was controlling Dr.Myuu all the time. Because when you see Dr.Myuu as a machine, there's a good explanation, because he had exactly without his glasses, he had exactly the same robotic eyes like his general has. So it makes sense if Baby is the creator of Dr.Myuu, because Baby created Dr.Myuu and Dr.Myuu created the general. I don't remember actually his name. How was it called? Yeah, right. Now I remember. General Rildo. Yeah, I think it's General Rildo. He was the creation of Dr.Myuu. By enough of that. In the time of a villain, well, Dr.Gero had, again with Dr.Gero, but, well, I'm talking about much more about Dr.Gero, because Dr.Myuu and Dr.Gero are on the same level in intellect, and they almost are like 2 drops of water, or should I say identical twins. The only difference between Gero and Myuu is that Myuu is blue, an alien, and he had giant pointy ears, like an elf. And of course, everybody was joking like Dr.Myuu is a reincarnation, or should I say a descendant of Dr.Gero in the future, but he's not. The coincidence is just they look mostly like the same, because they both have exactly the same mustache, the long hair, and exactly the same type of body, and big hats. The only difference is, like I said, Dr.Myuu have pointy ears, Dr.Gero doesn't have it. And of course, Dr.Myuu doesn't have earrings, but whatever. Like I said, when we're talking about the type of villain about Dr.Myuu, the type of villain Dr.Myuu is simple, scientist. A simple, mad scientist, which also goes to the category of an alien, weak, and if we're talking about the type of villains, he's also a traitor. Because if you saw the Dragon Ball GT, the Super Android 17 saga, Dr.Gero and Dr.Myuu make an alliance to create a duplicate of Android 17 in the Reign of Hell, in Hell. So so that the duplicate of the original Super Android 17, which is in Hell actually, can go on Earth, doing a distraction and everything, and call Android 18. Yeah, as far as I remember, to come with her and everything. And also, when the time was right, just those two came to each other quicker and quicker, and they transformed themselves into a big, super powerful warrior, Android 17. So, but as I said before, when we say traitor, the reason why I say that he belongs to the category of traitors is because Dr.Myuu, after they made the Super Android 17 and everything, and their plans to see it, he betrayed Dr.Gero, because he made an ultimate program on Super 17 that he can only follow orders from Dr.Myuu, and like happened to him in the original world in Dragon Ball Z, Dr.Gero was once again killed by Android 17. Even this time, the real traitor is Dr.Myuu. But that doesn't matter, because after so many conflicts and everything, Super 17 fucked up Dr.Myuu. So Dr.Gero and Dr.Myuu are 1-on-1. 1-1. They're even now. When we're talking about treason. But when we're talking about weakness, yes. Like I said before, Dr.Myuu is weak. The only power, the only weapon what he has is his high level intelligence. Like I said before for the second time, like a normal mad scientist. that's only his own weapon. But if we're talking about his personality, well, yes, well, he's still ruthless, evil, bad, and wise, also intelligent, and a good mastermind, tactician, everything, but not so much like Dr.Gero, but you get the point. But the last thing I can really say, that, yeah, what I really could say, oh yeah, right, and when I see my notebook now, I forgot to tell that about his goal. Dr.Gero, like every other single old school villain, he had the goal to conquer the world. But if we're talking about Dr.Myuu, he wants to conquer the universe. Well, this goal is a little bit much more bigger than the world, but you get the point. Because the dream, his goal, is the same. All same good old dream. But we're not talking about the world now, we're talking about the universe. So the goal is the same like for every single fucking old school super villain that wants to conquer the world. And, well, even Dr.Gero and Dr.Myuu, none of them ever succeeded. Or they even were close. So, yeah. Yeah, I said much more everything, but when I return to his personality, the only thing I can say that Dr.Myuu, well, he is arrogant, but not arrogant, but he's also wise, intelligent, mastermind, good tactician, and everything. Sometimes I even have a good sense of humor. I'm just joking. But the only thing is I can say to correspond with Dr.Gero, he's much more, in his personality, even he's a bad guy, he's much more softer and wiser than Dr.Gero was, because Dr.Gero was, well, much more bigger. Seriously, if it was an arrogance contest, Dr.Gero will, if we're talking about Dragon Ball Universe, Dr.Gero will win. I can assure you. And Dr.Myuu will come the second one. So, yeah. Yeah, well, they don't have much anything to say, Dr.Myuu, because Dr.Myuu is a minor villain. Well, he is a big part. He was a big part of the creation of Baby, or should I say the other way around? But he's a minor villain because the only two saga we see him is in the beginning of the Baby saga, and then in the Super Android 17 saga. So I hadn't really anything to say. Only that, yeah. Only that the type of villain that he is like a scientist, that his goal is conquering the universe. His hobby is to create mutants. Like I said, he belongs to the category of mutants, mutagen, and also some kind of a robotic, and energy, of course. So I said everything, yeah. I don't really have anything to say, but the only thing left for me is to say this. I give it Dr.Gero 8 out of 10, but for Dr.Myuu, I like his character design and everything. It's really impressive, and it's a really big coincidence. It looks like Dr.Gero. Many of them said that he was some kind of a reincarnation of Dr.Gero. Many of them said that he's a descendant from the future, but it's a total. Dr.Myuu, everybody knows that Dr.Myuu is a totally different person. He doesn't have any blood relationship with Dr.Gero. Duh, he doesn't have. So the last thing I want to say is 1 out of 10 points to categorize this villain. It's a real tough. For Dr.Gero, okay, because I saw his fighting skills and everything, but that's why I gave him an 8 out of 10. But we're talking about Dr.Myuu. It really is a hard one because the only power he had, like I said for the third time, the only power he had is high-level intelligence. So there's no choice, but I will give him a 6 out of 10. It really is a 6 out of 10 because his 4 points minus is because he doesn't have any fighting skills. But if you're talking about when we see him in the video games, yes, he's some kind of Street Fighter style. But if we're talking about only about the anime, the sagas, the only thing what he has is his genius, his level of genius, and some kind of type to know how to command his creations. Except Baby, because Baby was the creator of Dr.Myuu. It's really complicated, but yeah, that's the thing. 6 out of 10. It sounds good to me. It sounds fair enough. For my opinion, it sounds fair. It sounds very good to me. Fair enough. So here I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. I really am done. I don't really have anything to say much more about Dr.Myuu. It really is. I say anything about personalities, about his powers and everything. The difference between Dr.Gero and everything. Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Only one last thing. Why I'm saying everything again? Why Dr.Gero and Dr.Myuu? Because the difference, because they're much more alike. Not only he's in the genius level, but also in their endings. They're both. If you know the coincidence is that both of them were destroyed by their own creations. Dr.Gero by Android 17, and Dr.Myuu by Baby, which is very complicated because Baby programmed Dr.Myuu, but whatever. You get the point. That's the only difference with them, and of course in their looks, like I said at the beginning. So here I am done. Yeah, I really am done. I don't have anything to say much more about Dr.Myuu. I say 6 out of 10. Not that bad, but his power is only high level intelligence, and his looks and design and everything. 6 out of 10 is fair enough for me. So rate the video, comment, subscribe. If this is something you personally think about Dr.Myuu, really, for subscribing is not that very difficult. Please, there's just a mouse, click. And oh, and the last thing I can say is, like I said in the Dr.Gero video, if you want, give me your own personal characters. I really appreciate if they were villains, so I can comment them for you as your own wishes. And so here I am done. So drop me a like, we appreciate it. Please, everyone, have an awesome day, or should I say, the rest of the night. See you around.